Hello everyone, David Okoye here once again. I'm with my good friend Pastor Nanman. So good to have you around. So today we are talking about the mountain of government, and we're going to be sharing by the Spirit of God how we can influence in government, how we can bring the kingdom influence in government wherever we find ourselves. And we believe that it's going to be enriching and enlightening in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ.
Amen.
We've been on the series. I hope you've been watching the previous episodes, and so this is going to just be an addition to what the Lord is already doing through these productions. I believe it's going to be a great blessing to you in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ.
Amen.
So first of all, I want to ask Pastor Nanman, what is government?
Well, government, I believe, a simple definition is a system
Okay.
organized by men.
Organized system.
The organized system by
Wow.
men to oversee the affairs of a given territory, of a given people.
Okay.
Yeah, like you have the federal government of Nigeria.
Okay.
Yeah, it oversees and controls everything that happens within our own territory as
Okay.
a nation.
Okay.
So that's how it does this.
So it's an organized system that oversees probably the welfare or the state of a people.
Yeah, it has the sovereign power,
Wow.
the backings of, and the constitution,
Yes, sir.
and everybody. It has the recognition, acceptance of everybody
Okay.
within a given territory that this is the constituted authority that governs how we do things. You know what is right and what is wrong.
Wow. I really like the phrase organized system. It's not just a system,
Yeah.
an organized,
Yeah, an organized
system.
system.
That's beautiful. So at what point did you identify your call to the government mountain?
Some years back.
Okay.
Some years back, I
Because knowing that you're a pastor, of course, and
yeah.
then government
Yeah.
is like how
some
does
years
that play
back,
out?
you know, it's the call came as a result of the burden.
Okay, the body.
Burden, and when you look at a system
Yes, sir.
and you look at a thing and you have a heart for it,
Yes, sir.
you want this thing to be better.
Yes, sir.
You just realize this thing can be better.
Okay.
The current condition of this thing is not it. Then you have a heart for it.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
that's how you get to know.
So probably,
Yeah,
so in other words, God put the passion, the body
Yes.
for good governance.
Yeah, seeing the wrong things being done in government,
Mm.
and then that it can be done right.
Wow.
So
Wow.
these were the things that actually.
Well, it's kind of
Started
rare to
passion.
really find pastors who are really that concerned about government. Of course, we know quite a number of them, but you know, it's obviously, it's often seen as maybe politics or government is not pastor's business. Pastor should face church. So, but it's really amazing when it plays out this way because God is on purpose about influence. Glory to God. All right, I just want to ask a couple of probably just bringing back some of the quotes you made during the leadership retreat.
Okay.
And I just believe you can throw more light to it. One of the things you actually said is, I think this really got me so much, that Jesus is the head and the church is his body. And then you said a functional head without functional body cannot effectively take over the government of a nation. I think that's big.
No, while I was referring towards that, this was the illustration that I got. You know, like I told you earlier
Yes, sir.
on,
Yes, sir.
when you go to the hospital, you find people. I happened to meet a young man who can talk, who can see,
Yes, sir.
who can hear,
Yes, sir.
who can eat,
Yes, sir.
but the whole of his body lies paralyzed there in the hospital. Why? He has a spinal cord issue. So only his head, he cannot even move his head well, but he can talk. His hand, everything was done for him. So, and Christ is the head of the church according to Ephesians chapter 1. And we are his body. The Bible says in Isaiah chapter 9, and from verse 2 to 7,
Yes, sir.
that and the government shall be upon his shoulder.
Praise God.
And if this is our head, this is our shoulder, and the shoulder is part of the body, not part of the head.
Sure.
So it therefore means that the shoulder is being carried by the legs, being cleaned by the hands and everything. So every part of the body, apart from the head, is the church.
Wow.
And Christ is the head. So the head can be functional. Nothing wrong with it.
Wow.
And the body can be.
So as far as the earth is concerned, the church is actually designated to spend kingdom authority.
Sure.
As far as the earth is concerned.
Yeah. The church is supposed to carry out the intentions of what the head, which is Christ,
Yes, sir.
which is thinking.
Yes, sir.
For instance, now, I want to pick this handkerchief from
Yes,
you.
sir. Yes, sir.
My hand doesn't just decide to want to pick it. No.
Yes, sir.
It's because my head
It's
has thought about
processed
it.
in your head.
Pick that thing.
Yes, sir.
And when the head is saying pick that thing, my leg will not go and pick it. Neither will my teeth pick it. But my hands
It
will.
coordinates.
It coordinates. So the head
Wow.
coordinates the whole
Wow.
activities of the body.
Wow.
So that's how it is.
Glory to God. That's a very nice analogy. And then still in this whole functional head and dysfunctional body, if you will. I'm trying to think about it. There was something you said, if I kind of got it right. You were like, if we, the church that believe we're in the right place, we have the head, Jesus Christ, and then we are the body of Jesus Christ, that no matter how good the head is, if the body is not functional, it's still going to be ineffective.
Sure.
And you gave an example with, let's say, of the people of the world, for example, they have their head, the devil, who is actually active, and then his people, the body, are active also. And you see, they're likely to get more result than a church that has a perfect head and a dysfunctional body.
Sure, that is what is playing.
That's so beautiful.
That is what is playing out in Nigeria.
Wow.
And in other parts of the world.
Wow.
That's it. You have, with Satan and his own people.
And they are both busy.
Both busy.
Wow.
Both busy. And you have a church where Christ is very busy, very active. Now, a lot of people think that Christ is just there in heaven. The Bible says he stands there to intercede.
Wow. He's in charge of administration.
Yeah, and over there he intercedes for the church.
Wow.
Intercession, you believe it, you agree with me, brother, it's not a joke. It's not a small task. It's something that is even lacking in the church today. So he is busy, he is active. As a matter of fact, apart from everything that will make us very functional and effective and active upon the earth, he has done.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He has done.
He has accomplished that. But we now I want to think of it this way. The same way Jesus, while he was on earth, John chapter 5, verse 17, he says, the Father is working, even so hitherto I work. In other words, it's supposed to be a cooperation of the head and the body. Now, let's say the Father was actually working, but Jesus Christ was not active. It's called that the purpose will not be accomplished. So as powerful as the Father is,
yes, sir,
if the body is not functional, I mean, I like that picture you gave, though it's a very poor, sad picture to talk about a man with an active head and his body is paralyzed and all of that. But that seems to be, in quote, sadly, the state of the church. Now we have an active head, but because of our inactivity, our distractions all over the place, we've become so attached to this life.
Yes,
we're not engaging, we're not effective for God. So we see that we have a powerful Jesus,
yes, sir,
but his effect is not being felt on the earth. His influence is not even felt on the earth as it should.
Yes,
and I think it's something we really need to consider.
Yeah, we really need to consider that this shows a disconnection
Wow.
between the head and the body.
Okay.
There's a disconnection.
Okay.
As long as
In
my
function,
hand,
right?
In functions. As
Okay.
long as my hand, all the, what do you call it, my brains,
Yes,
all
sir.
my senses,
Yes, sir.
my brains,
Yes, sir.
is connected to the hand.
Yes, sir.
There's a connection.
Yes, sir. Yes,
As
sir.
long as there's a connection.
Yes, sir.
When the head wants to drink water, the
Yeah.
hand just acts.
Yeah. Cease to eat.
It just acts.
Wow.
If the head wants this body to be clean,
Yes,
the
sir.
hands just act.
Wow. Wow.
Because there's a connection.
Yes, sir.
But when there's no connection, if you detach this hand from my body now, put it on this chair or on something, anything else, no matter how much the head wants this body to be
It
clean,
cannot.
the hand cannot clean the body.
I think this is something we need to think about as the body of Christ, as a church.
There's
in
a need
general.
for connection.
We need to get
Somehow
back to
there's
this.
a connection that is missing.
Very, very
It's a
key.
connection that is missing.
All right, and then there's another quote you made during the course of the retreat. You said the church must engage the political arena for the king. How do we do that?
Now, in Matthew, it says, the kingdom of heaven will suffer violence,
Yeah.
and the violent take it by force.
Yes, sir.
And when you look at Isaiah, the Bible says the zeal of the house of the Lord will do it.
Yeah, consume. Yeah, we're
The zeal of the house of the Lord will do it.
Yeah.
The zeal of the house of the Lord will do it. Now, this is it. The kingdom of heaven will suffer violence,
Yes, sir.
and the violent take it by force.
Yes, sir.
The violent take it by force. It's a call for force.
Okay.
It's a call for force.
Okay.
How do you feel the force that your head is thinking? For instance, two boxers are fighting in the ring.
Yes, sir.
How does the opposition feel the force that the opponent wants to exert on him?
Okay.
It's by the hand.
Okay.
The hand must be forceful enough to execute that which the mind is thinking.
Okay.
So the church must be forceful.
Okay.
The church must be forceful. Take, for instance, those guys on the other side. They are very forceful. And they understand this thing. They are forceful about it.
Okay. You know,
So-
James actually said the kingdom of heaven suffered violence, and the violence taken by force. A New Living Translation said the kingdom of heaven forcefully advances.
Advances.
So, and then it tells us something here, because if something is not opposed, it cannot forcefully advance. So the whole idea of something forcefully advancing or being violent shows that there is an opposition. So how do we engage now in the political? Because now we've been said often that politics is a dirty game. So, and somehow some people are saying, let's leave the dirty game. But somehow, one way or the other, whatever happens in the political arena affects everyone.
Forget
and all of that. So how do we
people
engage?
who are saying politics is a dirty game? It's not a dirty game.
Okay.
Politics is a game. Remove the dirty and leave the game.
So how do we engage in the
now,
political arena as believers?
We need to go into the arena.
Okay.
Let's go into the arena.
So Christians, believers should go into politics.
We need to go into the arena.
Okay.
There's a crown there, there's a championship belt there, there's a trophy there. If you don't participate in the championship,
Okay.
you can't take the crown.
Okay.
You can't take the belt. You can't take the trophy there. You must participate.
Okay.
You must participate. And so believers must go into that arena.
Okay.
First, go into that arena with a kingdom mindset.
Okay.
Know that
With
I
a kingdom
I am
mindset.
competing for my king.
Okay.
There's
Not just ambition.
Yes, I am competing for my king.
Okay.
There's a movie I watched some years back, and this was it. 2 nations were to fight. This is it.
Yes, sir.
Each of these nations brings their champion.
Yes, sir.
And if one nation's champion, if let's say you're a king, I'm a king,
Yes, sir.
I can't come and fight, you can't come and fight.
Yes, sir.
I'll bring my champion, you bring your champion.
Yes, sir.
If your champion defeats my champion, I become subject to you.
Okay.
If your champion defeats my champion, if my champion, are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
So whose champion wins?
The other
Automatically,
becomes
the other champion, the other kingdom, becomes a subject
Yes, sir.
to the other king.
Yes, sir.
This is it.
Yes, sir.
That is how we should look at it now.
Okay, sir.
We are going out there into that arena as the champions of our king.
Okay, now, just to put this in perspective, because not everyone is called to politics.
Yes,
Obviously, I'm not called to politics,
Yes,
okay?
sir.
How do we, as believers, every one of us, how do we engage in politics? Because now, we must not all hold public offices. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes, sir.
There are people who are called to hold public offices, even among the church, which you are saying engage. All right, so, but then, how do we, like someone like me, someone like you are not going to hold a political office. I don't know if you have that in mind anyway,
Yes, sir.
but people like everyday believer who is not called or who are not called to political offices, how do we engage in the political arena in order to bring kingdom influence into government?
Number one is this, like I said, you have to go into the arena.
Okay.
Good.
How?
And you join a political party.
Okay, one must join a political party?
You have to join.
So every believer should join the political party?
In Nigeria now,
Yeah.
there's no independent candidates.
Okay.
Yes, so you have to belong to a political party.
But is that required?
It is required. Now, in Nigeria, to function in the political arena, because to contest for political positions. Now, even if you may not contest for political positions,
Okay.
you may be in the advisory council, you may be in any other part. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
You may be in the party offices and the rest, but you have to what? Belong to a political party.
Okay.
You have to join a political party. Now, choose a political party and choose a political party wisely. A lot of people say, I won't join PDP. I'm using an example now.
Okay.
I won't join ABC, they're corrupt. You're joking. Join them.
So until you join, you can't influence what goes on.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so you join as, like you say, with a kingdom agenda, kingdom perspective, entering as the salt and the light,
Yes, sir.
bringing kingdom influence
Good.
into. Okay.
Go in there. Look, we carry, like you said, we are light, we are salt.
Yes, sir.
Go in there. If there's darkness there, you will shine.
Yes, sir.
Go in there. If there's no saltiness there, you will bring your savor there.
Okay.
Are you getting me?
Okay.
Go in there and participate.
Okay, sir.
Participate.
Okay.
Everything that should be done within the sphere and the frame of men.
Okay.
Participate.
Okay.
And when it gets beyond the sphere and the frame of men,
Okay.
engage your force.
Okay.
Bring the kingdom to play.
Okay. So
When it's beyond human,
so our strength is in the spirit. I like the way
Yes.
you qualify it now because we are not supposed to.
no,
Okay.
good.
Okay.
When the game gets to a point where human power has lost its word, its play. Now engage yourself. Hey, I have a king who can bring us out of this place.
Okay.
I have a king who can get this thing done.
Okay. So
Now
we
you're
have to
gradually introducing the kingdom.
strategize by
Yes.
the spirit.
Mhm.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
and when you are there, you need to what? Become a solution provider.
Yeah.
Because you are as relevant to anybody around you to the amount of solution
Yes, sir.
you give him.
Yeah, I think that brings me to something, because we were sharing behind camera before we came on. We were talking about the fact that, Luke chapter 9, 16, verse 16, the words of Jesus Christ said that the law and prophet was until John, and until that time, the kingdom of God has been preached.
Yes,
and then he says what? Men are pressing into it. And then we connected it to Isaiah chapter 2, when he said the mountain of the Lord shall be established upon all other mountains, and then he said nations shall flow into it. So in Luke chapter 16, men are pressing into the kingdom as a result of the gospel being preached. And then on the other hand, we're seeing that because of the influence of the kingdom, it's going to be above every other kingdom. Men shall flow into it. Now we're talking about the church being the answer to the problem of the world. How can that happen? Because when we talk about politics, like I mentioned, not everyone really will be a political. Like, I don't have plans to be a part of a political party. It's really not part of. Well, I don't know how that plays out, but not everyone might want to engage to that extent. But talking about governance generally, there are other ways we can bring. Like as a church, we can be so loud with our kingdom influence and bringing answers to social problems and the problem, economic problem, political problem, all of that, so that the world will look to the church. So how can we make that happen from wherever we are?
As a church,
yes, sir.
One of the things we do is pray.
Okay.
Your kingdom come.
Yes, sir.
Your will be done on earth as it is in heaven.
Okay.
It's prayer.
Yes, sir.
And prayer is one of the most powerful tools the church has.
Yes, sir.
Prayer. And it says, I'll give you the keys of the kingdom. Whatsoever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven.
Yes, sir.
The church needs to engage that.
So keys refer to what? Authorities, principles?
Yes.
Okay.
The church needs to engage that as well.
Yes, sir.
Binding and loosing.
Okay.
That's something the church must engage.
Okay.
That's something the church must engage. Because I've heard of testimonies how things have been stopped or how things have been pushed to fulfillment because of what the church standing to pray.
Okay, what about the active role? Because I remember someone some years ago made a very powerful quote. I never forget that. He said that one of the best ways to pray is also having a willingness to be part of the answer to that prayer. So it's not enough to say, God, do it, God, do it, God, do it. There's always the God side and there's my side, my role in the equation, what God expects me to do. So how do we actively, apart from praying and then, because the both things you mentioned are more spiritual and they have effect in the physical, but how do we go practical now? How do we really bring that, haven't prayed, haven't taken authority in the spirit, how do we get engaged in the physical world to bring about this whole thing that we make the nations to press into the kingdom or to flow into the kingdom? What are the practical ways apart from the spiritual side to it? Because I know if it's prayer, we've been praying. You know that.
Earlier on I said believers need to get engaged.
Okay. Like joining the political. So it's getting us back
to getting into the arena. Are you getting me?
Okay.
Watch and pray.
Okay, but there are other steps we can take, for example, like things like charity work, things like social stuff, being engaged, being advocacy. I don't know.
When we're talking about kingdom takeover,
from a kingdom perspective now.
Yeah. Charity works, advocacy, and those things are good.
Okay.
But this is it. Charity works and advocacy and the rest, they don't get you elected.
No, we're not. That's the point I'm trying to make. Not everyone. We're not talking of those who are called to political. That's different. Okay. I'm talking of the everyday believer who wants to influence, bring kingdom influence in government generally. Like more of, when we talk about government, it goes beyond leadership in terms of national leadership. It could be your community. It could be your society. Those little places. It can even be your classroom in school. So it's like, how do we engage? How do we bring these things on a practical?
This is it. One of the things we can do again as a church is voting.
Okay. So believers have to vote.
We have to vote.
Okay.
We have to vote. That's very important. We have to vote.
Okay, sir.
You have to exercise your franchise.
Okay, sir.
Other ones again is this. Another thing we can do is this. When this national conference was going believers participate.
Okay.
Participate.
So we should participate in what happens in the political arena.
And when laws are being made, now be vigilant. Listen to your state assembly, national assembly, follow your lawmakers, follow your governors, follow them up.
Okay.
The church can follow the government. Look, you gave us a budget. You said you're going to construct 50 kilometers road this year.
Okay.
We've not seen anything.
Okay.
We follow you up.
Okay.
You say you construct from Mango to Bokos, from this to this, and then at the end of the day now, the roads are not there.
Okay.
So when you participate like that in government, you call politicians to order. You say, hey guy, you said you're going to construct this road.
Okay.
It's not done. What's happening now? They will know that what people are aware.
Okay.
And if it's coming from the dimension, from the angle of the church, from the angle of the church, you know it's not just an individual talking to you.
Okay.
It's an organized body.
Okay.
And then when we also are aware that people are elected officials are not performing and functioning well, you know, we can ask God to come into this.
Okay, so the church needs to come up with a singular front, a united front.
Yes.
So it also speaks about the unity of the church, having one voice,
Mm-hmm.
projecting the voice of the influence of the kingdom into society. All right, and I also see that so far, by the grace of God, it's a good thing. You know, I've seen a lot of churches engage with helping out with what government should be doing. And you keep hearing people say, come on, this is the work of government. But I believe that is one of the ways we ought to bring kingdom influence in governance. So that government will know, or those in the political arena know that this sect of people have a purpose. What are they really after? Because sometimes they're looking, what do they really want? What's the catch? What are they trying to get by doing this? They just discover you're doing it because you love people. Because that's really what you're supposed to do. But you know, we live in a selfish world. Our politicians, generally all over the world, they're all about ambition, what they want, the money and this fame and all of that. But we need to, as a church, to redefine more of like, show them what leadership is really, because really government is about leadership, like you already explained. So, but let me ask why as we conclude, because time is really almost up. But then, how about the salvation connection? At what point do we bring about salvation connection? Whether those in the political arena or on a day-to-day basis, how can we influence society through salvation? Because salvation is the main thing. This whole kingdom influence is about bringing salvation to men receiving Jesus Christ. There's a real eternity. We are all going to leave this world one day. So how do we bring about this in the political arena, engaging people?
If we remain connected to our head,
Yes, sir.
believe you me, God Himself will create openings.
Okay, opportunities. Okay.
To present the Christ.
Okay.
Opportunity to present the Christ.
Okay.
Now, for instance, you keep getting solutions. You say, okay, let me go and pray. You say, we have problem. Let me go and pray.
Okay.
Let me go and pray. Let me go and pray. One time he's coming to say, okay, can you go and pray for me? Say, look, you also can pray to this my God.
Okay.
You also can pray to this my God.
Okay.
This is my God.
So that's been the engaging point.
See,
Yes, sir.
by providing solution, and then they keep coming to you, say, no, you also can access this my God. You getting me?
Yes,
that's an opening. You also can access this my God.
So that also means when you talk about opportunities, we have to be intentional about looking out for opportunities and also creating opportunities by the Spirit.
Yes.
So I love the fact because it's about the Holy Spirit really helping us. But you know, sometimes the real problem is when we lack intentionality. So even when the opportunity is glaring at us before our faces, because we are not expecting.
A lot of believers go into politics without focus.
Okay.
Without kingdom focus.
Okay.
And when you don't have focus, anything can lead you.
Yeah.
Any wave can push you anywhere.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And we must be connected to the captain of our salvation, Jesus. And let him steer our movement.
So he gives us order and we take orders from him.
Yeah, he gives us order. Look, the captain of ship can't say we are going northeast. And then you say, no, I'm going southwest.
Okay.
It's a problem.
Wow.
And if your captain is going northeast, you are going southwest, it means you are no more in the ship.
Wow.
And when you are no more in the ship, any wind can blow you anywhere. So, but we must be connected to the captain of our salvation, even while in the arena, or even not. But whatever we're doing in political arena, let him direct our movements.
Wow. So the solution is staying connected to the head. Hallelujah.
So when you are there and you're connected to him, he knows I have a boy there.
Okay.
I have a daughter there.
So whatever he wants done will be done.
It will be done.
And then we can say his kingdom has come and his will is done on earth as it is in heaven. Glory to God. I believe when we talk about the kingdom takeover, we are looking forward to that moment where we together will declare with the Lord Jesus Christ. I mean, over there in heaven, for yours is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. And then we can also say the kingdoms of this world have become the kingdoms of our God and of His Christ, and He shall reign forever.
When we're looking at that, kingdom takeover, this is what we're looking at. It's not just that we have a Christian as a president.
No.
It's this. That what? The kingdom lifestyle.
Find expression
in government.
Hallelujah.
When any policy or any stuff coming up there doesn't tally with what the kingdom want, it's been knocked off. Anything that is coming up from that governmental office or government positions, It's the kingdom.
Glory to God. And then obviously
that's what we're looking at
we
here.
fight from the spirit.
Yes,
we don't fight physically. We don't try to solve our problems.
Yeah, I know.
We fight from the spirit, then we are instructed by the head as to how to act. And then we do that, and then we see kingdom influence brought into government. Glory to God. Oh, we believe this has been an enriching time for you, and I believe it has blessed you just as it has blessed me. Thank you, Pastor Nanman, for being a part of this. We're so grateful. We believe that there's so much more that can be learned by this, and so we want to encourage you, stay tuned, listen up, and I believe that you'll be richly blessed. We'll come your way again with something more in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen. God bless you.